This video lecture addresses concepts in life history as it relates to the field of ecology. The organization and content were strongly influenced by Smith and Smith elements of ecology. Life history is described as the lifetime pattern of growth, development, and reproduction, and life history characteristics are the traits that affect and are reflected in the life table of an organism. Organisms face trade-offs in life history characteristics related to reproduction, and there are constraints imposed by physiology, energetics, and the prevailing physical and biotic environment. Reproduction involves both benefits and costs to individual fitness. The behavioral, physiological, and energetic activities involved in reproduction extract a cost to future reproductive success on the parent in the form of reduced survival, fecundity, and/or growth. A species' age at maturity is influenced by patterns of age-specific mortality. Natural selection will favor the age at maturity that results in the greatest number of offspring produced over the lifetime of an individual. Environmental factors that result in reduced adult survival select for earlier maturation, and conversely, that reduced juvenile survival relative to that of adults select for delayed maturation. Reproductive effort is governed by trade-offs between fecundity and survival. An individual's reproductive effort should function to maximize its fitness over its lifetime. Optimal reproductive effort, therefore, represents a trade-off between current and future production. Allocation to current reproduction functions to increase current fecundity, but reduce parental survival, resulting in decreased future reproduction. Fitness is often maximized at intermediate reproductive effort, particularly for organisms that reproduce repeatedly over their lifespan. The graphic shown here is captioned by Rickliffs 2000, quote, "The optimization of the trade-off between annual adult survival and annual fecundity." The bounded area within the curve represents the set of possible phenotypes, among which those potentially having maximum fitness are represented on the periphery. The adaptive function is a line running through combinations of fecundity and survival having equal fitness and just tangent to the fitness set. The tangent point is the phenotype that maximizes evolutionary fitness. The slope of the line is the negative value of the inverse of the average age of a female at the birth of her offspring. Thus, the slope is related to the negative of the adult mortality rate. End quote. Organisms that produce many offsprings have a minimal investment in each offspring. They can afford to send a large number into the world with a chance that a few will survive. By so doing, they increase parental fitness but decrease the fitness of the young. In this sense, there is a real trade-off between the number and size of offspring. Organisms that produce few young invest considerably more in each one. Such organisms increase the fitness of the young at the expense of the fitness of the parent. To maximize fitness, an organism has to balance immediate reproductive efforts against future prospects. One alternative, similarity, is to invest maximum energy in a single reproductive effort. This is common in insects and some species of fish, like salmon. It is also common in annual plants such as ragweed, ambrosia species. The other alternative, iteroparity, is to allocate less energy each time to repeated reproduction efforts, but to reproduce more than once over a lifetime. This is a common strategy for most vertebrates and perennial plants. An individual's life history represents the interaction between genotype and the environment. the set of phenotypes expressed by a single genotype across a range of environmental conditions, which is known as phenotypic plasticity, is referred to as the norm of reaction. The characteristics related to life history, such as age at maturity, exhibit reaction norms as a result of the interaction between genes and the environment. The pattern of mating between males and females in a population is called the mating system. In animal species, mating systems range from monogamy to promiscuity. In general, males compete with males for the opportunity to mate with females, but females finally choose mates. Sexual selection favors traits that enhance mating success, even if they handicap the male by making him more vulnerable to predation. Male competition is intrasexual selection, whereas intersexual selection involves the differential attractiveness of individuals of one sex to the other. By choosing the best males, females ensure their own fitness. Females may also choose mates based on the acquisition of resources, usually a defended territory or habitat. By choosing a male with a high-quality territory, the female may increase her fitness. The set of characteristics that define a species' life history co-vary, forming what appear to be a distinctive suite of characteristics that seem to be a product of broad categories of selective forces. The fast-slow continuum hypothesis says that species can be arranged along a continuum from high to low adult mortality. High adult mortality results in selection for a shorter life cycle, faster development rates, and a higher fecundity than populations experiencing low adult mortality. Another hypothesis is based on two contrasting types of habitat, those that are variable in time or short-lived, and those that are relatively stable. The former habitat type selects for short life cycle, fast development, and high reproductive rates and high fecundity. The latter for longevity, delayed maturity, and lower reproductive effort distributed over a longer period of time. The following sources were consulted in developing this video lecture to include organization, content, and visuals.